everyone, Dr. Wade here, your mobility chiropractor here in Alameda, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about our hips. Now, your hips may not lie, but they're probably feeling pretty tight most of the time. Because if you're like most of my patients, you are sitting a large portion of your day, maybe 8 to 10 hours or more, depending on your job, your commute, and your relaxation time at home. Now, the thing that most people don't know is that when it comes to rotating our body, our hips play a pretty big role in that. In fact, our mid-back and our hips are primarily where bodily rotation comes from. Now, when we don't have hips that rotate properly, one of the things that our body will try to do is make up for that movement with our low back. But here's the thing, your low back is not designed to do a lot of rotation, maybe 5 to 10 degrees, if that. Your low back is mainly a bending forward to back and a side to side movement. So it doesn't really do rotation that well. So when it tries to make up for that rotational movement, what we find is that that low back can get very irritated because we're putting some extra stress on it. So today we're going to show you some hip mobility exercises that are going to help your hips kind of open up and become a little bit looser, a little bit more mobile, so that when you're doing things like throwing the ball for the dog, whether you're doing some golf over at the golf course here, or you're maybe playing some pickleball, all of these things require some rotation of the body, some rotation of the hips, and it's going to decrease the stress on your low back while you're doing those activities. So come on and watch these exercises, and hopefully this is going to help you be a little bit more mobile. This exercise that we're going to do today is called the 90-90. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get on the floor, and you're going to put your legs right in front of you, and you're going to let them drop to one side or the other. So in this one, you want to have your body nice and upright as much as you can. Your knees are going to be at 90 degrees. That's where we get the 90-90. Some of my patients like to call it the flip-flop exercise. And we're going to lean forward over the front leg. And then we're going to turn, and we're going to lean over the back leg. Now, when we lean over the front leg, oftentimes people feel that stretch kind of in the buttock area. And when we lean over the front leg, oftentimes we'll kind of feel that stretch right here in the crease, kind of in the crease of the hip right here. Then we just switch it over to the other side, and we do the same thing. So we go toward the front leg, and then we go toward the back leg. The next exercise we're going to do is called a controlled articular rotation. Now this one, if you look it up online, a lot of people are doing it when they're standing up, but I like to do it when we are on all fours to start. And the reason for that is because when we do this one, what we're doing is we're doing a movement in the full range of motion of the hip. Now if we're standing up, oftentimes people tend to swing left and right. Now we don't want to do that because we want to isolate the movement of the hip. So I like to do it, I like to have my patients started in all fours, a lot more control and a lot less movement of the whole body. We can work up to doing it in the standing position. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get on in a tripod position or in a quadruped position, and we're going to first bring the knee up as far as we can go. We're going to bring it out as far as we can go. We're going to bring it back and up as far as we can go, and then we're going to bring it back in like this. Now we can do it in the opposite direction. We can go up as far as we can go. We want to rotate it outward, kind of like a dog, and bring it back inward, and then back here. That's controlled articular rotation. Now the last one we're going to show you today is called a frog. It's a frog hip mobility exercise. So what we're going to do is, again, we're going to get in that quadruped position. We're going to kind of move the legs out like this. So if you think about a frog, right? Frog is going to jump up like that. So we bring it out there, but what we want to do is we want to have our legs out like this. So a lot of people, they'll bring the legs inward. We want to actually bring the legs outward. So we want to point those toes out, and then we want to lean back until we feel like a little bit of strain, right? And then we come back. Then we lean back again, so we're letting the buttock fall back, and then coming back here. Now, the reason that we're moving the feet outward, we're pointing the feet outward, is we're actually doing internal rotation of the hips. Now, internal rotation is much more commonly decreased in a lot of my patients than external rotation is, right? So external rotation is when we externally rotate the hip this way. Internal rotation is turning the foot outward like this. So for most of my patients, external rotation is pretty okay, but internal rotation is significantly limited. All right, so I hope that these exercises were helpful for you. Go ahead, do them at home, and tell me what you think about them, because I can guarantee you that it's going to make a big difference in your life if you're doing these consistently for at least 2 to 4 weeks. All right, that's it for me today. Of course, I always love talking with you guys, and we'll see you next time. Have a great one.